Okay, good morning and welcome to Table Enabled Shulchan Aruch Yomi. We're doing now Siman Kuf Dal at 104 Shalach Hafsik with Tefillah. So you can see the white parochas behind me, Erev Rosh Hashanah. It's a great time to get in some extra learning before the Yom Adin, extra schlusim before the Yom Adin. That's why I do this now. No, the reason I do it is because I have no time to make videos during Yom Tov, 2 days of Yom Tov. Even here in Eretz Israel, 2 days of Yom Tov. That's the bonus. That one of the great, not one, there's a lot of good things about living in Eretz. One of my personal favorites is the fact that you only have 1 day of Yom Tov. I'm not a big fan of having 2 days of Yom Tov or 3 days of Yom Tov, but Rosh Hashanah we're stuck. According to the Gemara in Beit, so you have to have 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, no matter where you live, even in Eretz Israel, until the Beis Hamikdash is rebuilt. Then we'll have 1 day. It seems the Gemara in Beit that we'll go back to the original Takon to have 1 day. So Kuf Dal is Shalahafsik B'Tefillah 104. You're not supposed to interrupt your davening. Aleph L'Yafsik B'Tefillah. You shouldn't interrupt your davening. Now it doesn't mean just to talk, even just to move or to signal something. Even the king of Israel. If we had a king of Israel, I guess king of Israel nowadays would be Yair Lapid. I don't know. Shalom Shlomo is saying hello. You shouldn't answer him. Presumably he's not going to kill you. You understand this one answer is Aval Melech Oved Gelulim, a non-Jewish king, Biden, if you could shorten your davening, he's coming to you. So say the beginning of each bracha and end of each bracha. Shorten your tefillah. You should do that. Or you can move to the point where he's not going to come and greet you. He's walking down a path. If he sees you, he'll greet you. So go to a different street. You should do that. If there's nothing else you can do, there's nowhere else to go, and you can't finish your Shemona Esrei in time, so then you should even say hello. You could even interrupt your Shemona Esrei and say hello. We'll talk more about what if you do say hello. You have to repeat your Shemona Esrei. Beis Hayam Ispal B'Derech Uba Behemo Karan Kenegdo. He's on the path, and an animal comes opposite him, or a car in a wagon. Yitam in a derech ol yafsik. I guess this would have ramifications nowadays. You're in a car or something like that, and a car is you're davening in the car or something like that, and you're having concentration, and you're driving the car. Maybe it's an autonomous car, maybe by a Tesla or something like that, and you have to stop your davening. You have to press the brake pedal. Yitam in a derech ol yafsik. So technically, the best thing is not to shout to the guy, hey, watch out, just turn the car. So technically, otherwise you shouldn't. Well, this is technically it's talking about you're on an animal, you're on a wagon, getting out of the wagon. Otherwise, you shouldn't move from even Dalet Amos, you shouldn't move. Unless you're at the end of davening, and you said and you're at the end of your davening, so then technically for tachanunim, right, for a type of supplication, you could interrupt your davening, and that's why someone who is a chazan, right, he doesn't take 3 steps back right away. He says tachanun, and then he says 3 steps back after Uval Tzion. Gimel afilu nachash karach al kevo lo yafsik. Even if a snake wrapped around your leg, lo yafsik, you shouldn't interrupt your davening, meaning to tell someone to take it off. You couldn't move because no one wants a snake around their legs, so you can move to try to get it off. Aval akrav, if he has a scorpion on his foot or on his body, posek. He could even, posek means he tells someone to take it off. He can even call the exterminator, because akravim, scorpions, will sting for no reason. A nachash normally won't bite unless it's, unless you agitate it. So therefore you see that it's ready to bite, so then also you can interrupt your davening to tell someone to take it off. Dalid, Imra Shor Bakinegdo, you see a bull, right? A red bull. They just imported 5 red bulls into Eretz Israel, right? Paradumas, 5 paradumas. Here you see a bull. It's not so happy. Posek, you even stop your davening, tell someone to try to get rid of the bull. Shemarchikim short tam, even a short tam, a shor which has not previously gored, or only has gored once or twice. Perish tam shena ragal hazik chamishim amos. You want to stay away from at least 50 amos. Umamuad, which would be about 75 feet. Umamuad perish ragal hazik. Umamuad, the ones that gored 3 times or more. Meloena, you want to distance yourself as long as they can see you. You want to get out of the way, because if the cows or these ox in these places, we've never heard about them actually goring people. Posek, you don't have to be posek. So if you're in Spain Pamplona, Spain, and you're running with the bulls, and you want to daven. So you should make sure to get away from it at least 50 amos, and if it's probably running with the bulls, they probably are more lahazik. So you don't want to be running with the bulls and dominating Shemona Esrei also. Hey, b'chol makom sheposek, any place where you stop, imshak de ligmor askula chozer larosh. In all these cases, right, cases where a non-Jewish king comes, a snake, a scorpion, right, you have to interrupt your tefillah to talk to somebody or to move, right? So if you in order to get rid of it, you had to wait the amount of time it takes you to daven. So then you have to repeat your davening. If it's not the amount of time, then you just go back to the beginning of the bracha. You're in the middle of the bracha, you go back to the beginning of the bracha. If you're in the middle of the first three brachas, then you go back to the beginning. Even if it wasn't shak dealing with school, if the last three brachas go back to Ritzei, because they're all considered one bracha. The first three brachas are considered one bracha, and the last three brachas are considered one bracha. The Mishnah Berurah will talk more about, this is what the Shulchan Aruch says, but according to us, the halacha, we pass it only in ones, right? That it's not roy to say tefillah, like you're in a makom of tzoa or erva, you can't say tefillah. That's considered shak dealing more chozer larosh. If you stopped davening for a certain amount of time, then you chozer larosh. Whether these are called onus or not, the Mishnah Berurah talks about. I'll talk more about that in Ian Talina on what exactly is the psak halacha. Vav hadam rinim shak dealing more skula bakore misharina. Like we said many times, the halacha of shag de'elik moras kula depends on you, how long it takes you to daven, not how long it takes the average person to daven. Imsach b'tefillah, if you started talking in your davening, you wanted to schmooze your friend in the middle of davening, it's like all the other things. However, the difference is that if you made a mistake, you said Ya'alav, you said Ya'alav, or said something al nisim when you weren't supposed to say them, that's considered sach b'tefillah. So if you're shag de'elik moras kula chozer larosh, However, we don't pass like that because we pass, and this is definitely not considered an onus at all, because you're the one that decided to talk. So therefore, lamaisa, according to our psak halach, you're not chozer larosh. Zayin eno posek lo lekadosh v'lo kedusha. You're in the middle of Shemona Esrei, even if someone's saying kadosh or kedusha, you don't answer. There's a concept of shomea ka'ona. Your listening is like you heard. So this is the best of both worlds. Be quiet. You hear what he says. You're yotzei the kadosh or kedusha if you have to be yotzei kadosh or kedusha. That's a discussion for a different time. And Shomea Ka'ona, it's not like an interruption. It's a machlokas, Rashi and Tosfos, whether Shomea Ka'ona is like your mafsik or not. We paskin, Shulchan Aruch paskins, you're not big mafsik by answering. You're yotze, but you're not mafsik. I'm going to feel like Karol Sefer Torah, ain't no posek. If you're in the middle of Shemona Esrei and they call you for an aliyah, you shouldn't stop your tefillah, you should ignore them and go on with your Shemona Esrei. Achar shesiyim Shemona Esrei, brachos, kodem l'chayin yitzor, after you finish Shemona Esrei and you said Yehi Ratzon Reifi, it's recommended to say that, even if you want to say L'kayin Yitzhar afterwards, you should still say Yehi Ratzon, and then you can answer Kaddish Kedusha and Baruch Hu. Maybe not a main. If you haven't said Yehi Ratzon, then you should. It's like the middle of Shemona Esrei, and you're not supposed to stop for anything. Even if you said L'kayin Yitzhar, we didn't say Yehi Ratzon, so your Shemona Esrei is not really over at all. You're in the middle of Shemona Esrei, you shouldn't answer. You should just listen and be yotzei. That's the conclusion of today's shir. Stay tuned for Ian Talina. We discuss chumrah by tefillah as opposed to Kriya Shema. Even though tefillah, according to most poskim, is derabanan, but Kriya Shema is d'oraisa. There is a chumrah by shak the Ligmar Kula. The Mishnah Berurah discusses chozer rosh, which is basically the circumstances of the siman. Right? It's an onus where, as opposed to an onus where you're in a place where you're within dalet amos of soar for some excrement, where you can't say words of davening. Here, technically, you could say words of davening. Just a goyish king, a non-Jewish king comes, or you're in sakanas nefashos because of a scorpion or a snake. So then, are you really considered honest or not? By tefillah, you are considered honest, and you're chozer larosh. Why is that? Only by tefillah, not by Shemona Esrei. We'll explain that Ian Talina on coming up next.